everyone, Fantasticairy here again for another video. This week I got up to painting some desert scenes, cactuses, and just kind of like Nevada desert little scenery, which I really enjoyed. It was very fun exploring the green colors with the red sands. The cactuses were my favorite to paint. They're very interesting because you can't go over the dark colors with the lighter color of the thistles or the spikes on the cactuses. I'm not sure what they're called. But yeah, and then I found this cool little tree called the desert rose or bush, and I decided I wanted to make that the subject of the painting. These cactuses on the bottom right are my favorite, I think. But yeah, that's what I've gotten up to in the last week. I think we'll get on to the painting process of this video, in which I paint a desert rose. So in the beginning of the painting, I am just blocking out the main shape of the bush itself with a light kind of tan color. I wanted to make sure that I got the colors accurately on the page. There was a lot of warms and cool lighting from the desert sun in the reference photos that I used. And then when I have the main shape blocked in, I started adding in the little kind of branches that came off the top. They're very like tubular, the way they came out of the interesting shape of this desert rose. These branches were more of a reddish brown color compared to the rest of the bush tree. I guess it would be called a trunk. So for this painting, I used the number 2 round paintbrush, watercolor brush, Princeton Aqua. I could, make thicker lines and thinner lines with just this one brush. It's the brush I use the most often. So I almost got all the branches blocked in, and I just want to make sure the composition of the branches has a nice shape to it coming out of the trunk of the desert rose. Adding in those darker tones to the branches and then going back down to the ground, because we can't just have this plant floating in the air. I need to attach it to some environment. I kind of stuck with just a normal gravelly ground that I've seen in the reference photos. Later on in the video, I define it more. Created these little kind of streams going up into the trunk of the tree so that it just looks like it's more connected to the ground. For this painting, I really wanted to make sure that I defined the shape of the tree and the shadows and where the light was hitting more profoundly than I did in the last couple desert roses I tried to paint. I'm deviating from the brown and just adding in some green, and then adding in more of a red hueish brown for the desert sand, creating these kind of fun little circle and dot shapes to still kind of give it a little bit of a style. Adding in some shadow, I went with a purple tone. I thought that would look nice against the creamy tan color we have going on, and this is where I'm kind of defining where the tree kind of sticks out and where it caves in. I also noticed on the bark there's these lines, little divots. It has actually a very textured bark if you look at it very closely. Darkening the branches a little bit more. Now we're mostly just defining all the color and shape within the composition. I do recommend trying to paint these yourself. They're actually really cool and fun. At this point in the process, I started to enjoy, I enjoyed the whole process, but I started to feel that it was actually looking like what I wanted it to look like. Not super realistic, but capturing the look and feel of the desert rose in a stylistic way. Adding in the little flowers at the top was my favorite. I mixed my red hue with some white to give it more of a pink color. They're kind of a more pink and white flower at the top. I just used the white part of the paper to insinuate that there is white flowers there. Making sure that I don't miss those little branches in the back, but also not filling it in too much so that there are some branches without flowers. It's really cool to see everything dry, weaving in these cool little shapes. And then I have to go back in and of course add some more shadow to define the dark areas a little bit more. When I painted this tree, I did a little bit of research on it, just to get an idea of its environment and its characteristics, almost like if it's a character. It's a small tree, has a thick, of course, bulbous trunk, fleshy leaves, so it's more like a flowering succulent. It's native to Africa and Arabia, and it's also known as a sabi star, impala lily, or mock azalea. Of course, they grow in extremely hot environments, and they can also be a houseplant. I guess that's where the bonsai comes in. And they're very toxic as well. They can grow up to 16 feet tall, I believe, which is crazy. Can you imagine just walking in the desert one day and just coming across a 16-foot tall, like bulbous trunk of a plant with these beautiful red flowers? Be insane. Maybe one day I'll get to paint one in its natural environment. The shapes and the colors are starting to come together a little bit more. I decided to add this little kind of mossy area around the tree. I'm not sure if it's accurate to the environment that this tree would grow in. I thought adding in some green would balance out the reds and the brown tones. Also, green is a color that goes well with both red and purple. Alright, so before we get to the end discussion, I'll let you enjoy the last few seconds of this video with some music, and I will see you at the end. Okay, and that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of this video and if you've ever painted a desert rose before, or even seen one in real life. That'd be cool. I really enjoyed painting this small tree. They're so cool. They got so many different interesting shapes, and it's a lot of fun to paint. So I definitely recommend painting the desert rose. I know I'll definitely be painting more of these plants in the future. I'm kind of on a desert plant and desert scenery kick lately. If you're interested in purchasing this little desert rose tree as a print or a sticker, you can check out my imprint shop, link in the description below. Videos are uploaded every Friday, so I'll see you next week, and I hope you guys are having a good day wherever you are in the world, or night, or whatever time it is, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.